And we are live. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is you are in the world, and welcome to another edition of Living World of Darkness, New York by Night, the Vampire Venue. Our scene tonight finds us as the sun has just set over Manhattan, over the boroughs of New York City. And the blood drinkers begin to make their crawl out to do their nightly routine, their nightly business. Some hunting and stalking and continue on the jihad or the fight against the antediluvians. Others going out and enjoying what made life worth living before theirs ended. Whatever their motives, a certain vampire by the name of Jinx was approached by a woman who handed off a card simply saying that the people that are in charge of her would like to see her and her comrades. And so we start with Jinx heading back to the communal haven where she can divulge this new point of contact.
Yes, Jinx will walk in, holding onto her card and her backpack as she's come from the internet cafe, which she so loves so much. She will open the door and kind of skip in, locking the key in, and will kind of like let out a whistle to see who is actually in the house. If Lola's doing her cam show, or I'm waiting for the signature shout from Rex as she whistles quite bloody loudly because she has to.
Yo, it's Jinx!
It is me, yes. You hear the most dry reply as she walks up to you. We have business.
Yo, what kind of business?
Someone wants to see us.
Really? Like for real?
Important. Yeah. She hand the card over. Important someone.
Looks the card over. Kind of leans towards Lola if she's present.
Yeah, Lola will emerge muttering about how she's going to get soundproofing. Shaking her head, muttering, but yeah, comes over and takes interest.
It's obviously someone important. We should call Craig as well.
There's a brow quirk because she's... Yeah.
He's ventral. He would want to know these things. And if he's on our side, then we might as well bring him a little closer. I thought you'd like that.
You're the one with the number.
He gave it to you, didn't he?
I don't think he did.
He did.
Oh, all right. Or she'll just nod, and she will just I'll call Craig and get your stuff ready. And apparently this is meant to be professional as well.
That means put your titties up.
The eyebrows loft the faintest bit in the really face, and she will pluck the card to get a look at it herself. What is on this card?
When Rex said it, he stuck his tongue out outside of his shark fucking teeth with a smile, and then when she plucked the card from his hand, it just kind of went to kind of this face.
She sticks her tongue out in return and looks at the card. Nah.
The card is far less ostentatious than the last card they got, the all-red card. This card is very simple. It simply has an address on it and a phone number, and the name on the card is Sarah Prescott.
There's a brief eyebrow pop, and she'll offer it back to Rex.
Ah, mine again. Hey, yo, what the fuck I want this for anyway? Hands back to Jinx.
She shrugs and starts walking. I didn't want it anymore. And
Jinx, like mid dialing the number, will take it off Rex smirking.
she's gonna go back upstairs to change.
Jinx is calling.
Greg.
Greg. Yes.
Is she calling him or is she texting him?
Calling.
All right. You're greeted to like a pretty loud thrumming noise in the background, and occasionally you can hear a dunk and like kind of a clattering sound. It's on a pretty regular interval too. Hey,
Hi, are you in what? She kind of like does this like brow quirk at Rex, like sticking up her face. You sound like you are doing something.
well, yeah, I was. Well, what's up?
There's a meeting that we were all going to. I was wondering, did you want to come along?
Well, like, for what?
High important people by the looks of things.
Man. Okay. How are we gonna, like, meet?
She kind of will look over. Well, we're in Brooklyn, so we can go to place and meet at the place. I can give you the address.
Okay.
Okay, she kind of like look at the phone and just like, I would text you then, and like hang up and kind of look over at Rex, just like this weird brow quirk, you know.
What?
I don't know. He was doing something strange. Seemed in a rush.
Oh. He just kind of shrugs.
Yeah, she's just like, just like throw on her jacket and stuff like that, and we'll text the address they're going to and look at Rex. Are you driving?
Yeah.
Good. Lola doesn't like when I use the scooter.
Let me get my picture, because I got a thing. Here we go. Yeah.
Lola will finally emerge in something obnoxiously slinky. And as she's coming back down the stairs, we'll question, so what do we mean by important?
Some of the people that watch over us. They want to meet. I figure it's the point of contact.
Well, like that Anthony, Annabelle, fucking... You know what I'm talking about, that lady.
Don't think it's her. Very prim and proper, the girl I met was, and she vanished into the, I'd very much doubt it'll be her.
Mm-hmm.
So, do we have any mutual friends? Any proper point of contact? Or are
Maybe
we
this
just
is-
walking into someone's den?
Maybe this is the point, I think. This is establishing who that point of contact is. That's what I can guess. Just shrug.
Lovely.
That's why I'm bringing Rex and the Ventru. She'll smile a bit, as she's putting her hands in her jacket, walking after Rex.
Then yeah, well, we'll fuss with like some lacy gloves or something for a second, then finally go ahead and go out. Get in the car.
Ain't nobody gonna be fighting over shotgun. You gotta pick that shit now.
Lola happily seats herself in the back.
Yeah, Diggs parks herself in the shotgun seat beside Rex. adjusting the seat as well so she can reach, a bit forward as well. Because Jinx be so tiny.
And he kind of leans over and says, like, in what he thinks is quiet, but it's not quiet at all. Yo, you picked the better tunes anyway.
I can still hear you.
She'll
What?
Gives him a pat on the shoulder.
Jinx will throw on the most hardcore gangster rap Rex knows.
Make me lose my mind up in here. Up in
Oh my god.
I'm gonna break that fourth wall now. Up in here.
Just shakes her head and lounges in the back seat.
Yeah, Jinx will text Craig where they're going, and lean back.
Craig goes there in his powder blue Prius. Parking
Rex drives.
being what it is, I don't imagine he parks like right on top of wherever they're going, but he's willing to hunt for somewhere convenient.
Rex, I have no clue what he's currently driving, but he takes up 2 parking spaces like an asshole.
Well, when they get to the locale, it is actually a bus terminal, a lonely bus terminal at that. And already there is a black SUV sitting parked, and it's the only other car there in the parking lot. And standing, sort of leaning against it, is the woman that Jinx saw earlier.
Yeah, she'll nudge Rex and point. That's the woman I met.
All right, I'm gonna stop saying shit now.
That's to look back at Lola, that's the girl.
She'll peer for a moment. And we'll actually take a bit to look around the bus station.
You probably spot the powder blue Prius
Oh, Jesus.
with fucking Craig in it, oblivious. He's listening to something. He's got his head going at a pretty good rhythm.
Shakes her head, continues looking.
You can almost swear that he's like orating some kind of air guitar. The hint being the positioning of his hands.
I hate you a little bit. No creepy loiterers, no nothing sus.
I mean, you can roll.
I can.
Oh fuck it, we'll roll. Roll.
Did you set it up?
I didn't.
Why don't you like me?
Meanwhile, in the Prius, domo, domo, wow, 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 domo, domo, wow, wow, wow.
Are you setting it up?
It's there. I got 2 successes.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong chat.
God.
I might see a thing.
Anybody else rolling?
I'm sorry, I got distracted. What are we rolling?
Perception and alertness, or at least Lola and Jinx were.
Is it hearing based?
No, it's sight based.
Excellent. Excellent. Fun fact, watchers. The way I've started things, if it's hearing based, I cannot roll. Roll. 6. Hey!
Our pulls
I
are
seen it.
terrible.
With the number of successes that each of you have, you see nothing out of place. There's no shadowy figures just around the corner. There's no, guy with a trench coat that looks like it has something at the hip, at the side of the hip, not the front of the hip, Rex. Yeah, this place looks relatively normal, other than the fact that there's no one here except for the powder blue Prius, your car, and the SUV.
That's probably Craig in the Prius.
Oh, it is. It is.
I'll go and see him. Wait here. Well, you can get out with me. You should just get out of the car and we'll walk over to the Prius really quickly.
So as Jinx approaches the car, because enough time has passed, she can hear it muffled on approach now. Come sail away, come sail away, come sail away. Yeah. And he, at some point in this, notices Jinx and, like, turns off the car and the music, gets out. Hey, man.
Hello. Glad you could make it. I think you should look over at the SUV and the woman. I think that is our point of contact.
Yeah, I didn't want to ask you over the phone, but what's going on?
It's some meeting. They want to talk to us by the looks of things.
Who's they?
I think maybe not the woman we met last night, but the other ones.
Other ones belonging to which? There's a lot of other in this world, Jinx.
The nice ones. You know, the Camarda, maybe?
They're... oh, man. You and me gotta talk.
But nice enough for us.
Right. Okay, let's see how this goes. This isn't creepy at all.
It'll be fine. She's leading him back over to the other two.
Vinny knows this is a meta joke between me, him, and the concept of a jet gas station. So
There's no
Craig,
ice machine that you can see.
There's what?
there's no ice machine. So Craig just kind of comes over with Jinx. He seems pretty well-to-do about life. He is the exact smug asshole that Lola remembers from 2 nights ago.
Oh yeah, and she'll finally pop open the back door of the car and unfold from the back seat. Slink out, flick the door shut.
Oh,
Nice to see you again. Oops, sorry.
Rex, I think I said Jinx. Shit. Rex jumps out the driver's seat and just very coolly leans his back against it and watches from afar.
Okay, ready. Let's see what this is all about, huh, guys?
Sure. Yeah. Looks at the other two. Nods at Rex and we'll walk towards the woman.
And she's been watching you, but she has remained poised, standing there. And as you approach, she folds her hands in front of her. Miss Jinx, it's good to see you again.
It is good to see you. These are my compatriots.
And she will hold out a hand to each of them in turn. Sam Prescott, nice to meet you.
Yep, there will be the cursory little, like the lady handshake. Not even a proper handshake. Just that little kind of brief grip, and like there's kind of the impression that they might have shaken hands, but you know. Mola.
Howdy, howdy.
And let me check something real quick. Hey, I have a dot of etiquette. Rex will when he shakes the hand, he'll like lean down to kiss it.
She gives you a look like that was not necessary, but okay.
And he does kind of like the upward head nod, the like "What's up?" But he doesn't say "What's up."
Well, my associates and the people that I work for are eager to meet you. If you would all follow me, and she'll walk to the rear of the SUV and open up the door.
Yeah, I was kind of curious. Who exactly is that?
I represent a conglomerate of individuals.
It's very broad.
I'm afraid for security purposes, I am not permitted to divulge too much, as they only let me say so much.
Craig looks around the deserted gas station. He is making a show of looking around.
It's a bus terminal, not a gas station.
Ah. Well, golly. Must be some serious stuff.
We have been burned in the past by being more open, and we don't wish to have any more unpleasant encounters at this point.
Right.
As I told Miss Jinx here, that the entire time that you are honoring and taking part of our invitation, you will receive safe conduct.
Okay. And there's an awkward moment. And then Craig gets in the SUV.
Yeah, no, Jinx gets in. Probably looks at the other two and just nods. It'll be fine. We'll get in.
Rex kind of does a little bit of a swagger and a fanfare with his shoulders, and yeah,
Yeah, and I guess Lola will go ahead and slip up into the SUV and pull her dress hem in behind her.
And the woman will shut the door, and she goes back around to the passenger side of the car. The thing you'll notice is that the windows are indeed blacked out, and when the woman gets in the passenger side, you can see there is a driver, and the car is started up and begins to roll out of the bus terminal.
hey Vinny, what's the driver's name?
His name is Phil.
What's his last name?
Brooks.
Phil Brooks.
You write that down just to be an asshole later.
You think I'm going to forget that name? You are sorely mistaken.
I love you, Vinny.
So as the car moves along, takes about roughly 45 minutes to get to your destination. You guys clearly go outside the city. And it isn't too long before you pull up into a sort of a lonelier part of the northern side of the Bronx, very north. Not quite Long Island north, but between almost to Long Island. And when the vehicle finally arrives, it pulls up in front of what is clearly a church villa.
Kind of look over at the three. Fancy.
Yeah. Fancy.
And the doors are then opened by both Miss Prescott and Mr. Brooks.
Well, off they go then.
Yep.
And you're... oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, sorry. Bah. As Rex walks by, he's gonna put a $20 bill in Mr. Brooks's pocket.
Mr. Brooks has no shame about simply pushing it down in the front pocket of his sports jacket.
Man, Rex has been there. He knows that life.
Well, it's a good thing. So, as you all are led forward, you are brought into the sort of the foyer of the actual church itself. And there are actually, what you can see, that there are kind coming and going. Looks as though this church is not completely exclusive. There are old couples and individuals that are praying, going to the confessionals. It is clearly a Catholic church.
Would it be weird to say that if the characters are fairly young to the whole thing, they could be like at least briefly leery just because of, modern media?
The
Or is that
churchgoers,
something? Or is that
first-
no? I mean, like the vampires. Like, if you're fairly new to this whole vampire thing, and like, yeah, you've been learning shit, but still, modern media is a bitch. Is that even normal, or?
I mean, if your character has assumptions about, holy places being a problem for your kind, if that's what you're getting at, then...
Yeah, pretty much. I was trying to decide if that was even a reasonable thing to assume, or if that's something that would have been, like, explained early on.
If you have contact with your sire, I would say then it's been explained to you.
What does my common sense tell me?
Does your character have common sense?
Yes.
Robbie always has common sense.
Your common sense would tell you that if many of the rumors were true, you would have burst into flames upon walking into the door if that was a thing.
All right, you're right, Rex. You're right.
Yeah, if anything, Ola will just be a little taken aback. Maybe she finds it gauche. I don't know. But she'll still follow along perfectly primly. Wherever the fuck they're going.
Yeah, Jinx doesn't seem phased. She has regular contact with her sire.
And question, how is Lola dressed specifically?
I mean, not like super swoop low neck, just very... Let's see if I have anything that works.
Are we talking like, business casual, evening gown, or are we talking like cocktail dress?
Vinny, you probably know more about dresses than I do.
Why you gotta be like that?
Because I don't know the difference. Just trying to see if any of my gifts were even remotely helpful, and they're not.
If she
It's
were
a
to go
dress,
to,
Vinny. It's too fancy for this fucking place. I'll tell you that much.
Be the ironic fucking person and say she's wearing a sundress.
Not right now. I do have a picture of her in one though. It's adorable, but
well,
no, it is definitely way too nice and way too expensive to be wearing here.
is it overly revealing or is it?
It's
fairly
not
conservative?
overly revealing.
Okay, well, if it's conservative, then you might get one or two looks, simply because you're fairly overdressed for a Wednesday night, but you don't get the kind of gawks or leers that you might if you were scantily clad inside of a church.
No, and if anyone recognizes me, no one's going to mention it here.
There might be like one dude who looks like he's about in his 70s who just has this look as he's looking at you. He's sitting right next to his wife, but he's just like,
He gets a wink. She appreciates her fans.
Unfortunately, the person she's winking to is the person who is getting the knockoff things on like X videos, which are just ripped recordings of her shows.
It's a shame he doesn't appreciate the quality that's on her website.
Some people just have some people just can't pay for a good thing.
I made that fucking website. Internally Jitsu thinking.
I don't care. I don't know that. So yeah, she's recognized. She'll give like the little wink and keep walking.
Yep.
She's not even gonna pause to do it.
And Miss Prescott will lead you up to the front pew and simply hold out a hand for the four of you to sit down.
Sits
If
down
you don't-
awkwardly.
Craig's awkward ass is now sat in church.
Rex will politely decline and lean against the nearest wall.
Seems to make no difference to Miss Prescott, and she simply kind of inclines her head graciously, or sort of bows her head graciously. Wait here for a moment. Someone will be with you shortly. And she walks off, heels clicking as she goes, leaving you all to talk amongst yourselves for a moment.
This is nice. Looks around.
Lola is looking at the stained glass. Why do they always look so somber?
Does anybody know we're here?
Do you know anyone else who
No.
would care?
Maybe.
Perhaps you should tell them then.
Craig shrugs.
We should be fine. I mean, if worst comes to orders, you know. We've got Rex. Look over at Rex.
He's absently staring somewhere else and can't hear you.
As you all conversate on your own, man of the cloth a younger man of the cloth will actually see he comes out of the confessional, and as he makes his way up the row, he stops as he looks at you, the three of you, and then over at Rex. Good
So,
evening.
I'm sorry.
Good evening, my children.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to St. Michael's. I am Father Reed. Is there anything I can help you all with tonight? Have you come to remit your sins to the Lord, or perhaps are you here to simply offer worship?
Oh, there's that kind of like awkward stare.
Lola's looking down at her at the like playfully expectant face, like, "Oh no, tell him."
We
After all, it's
uh,
Jinx's fault.
Jinx begins the stuttering game, like looking around at everybody else, like.
He looks at Rex looks at Jinx and then looks back at Father Reed and says, "My baby girl here is looking for the red tie special. You know what I mean?"
I am afraid that I don't know what you mean.
Man, slipping.
However, if you are here to offer worship to the Lord, I am more than willing to accommodate. If you need anything, feel free to just give me a bit of a whistle. And he will walk over to some of the other parishioners that he seems to know by name, and he greets them warmly, as a good priest should.
Just following stare and just look over. That was unusual.
For a priest to be in a church? Yes. Highly unusual.
I don't go to many churches. She kind of like rub the back of her head.
You lucky.
And Miss Prescott comes back in, and as she steps in front of the altar, she kneels and crosses herself. And then she turns over to the four of you. If you would, please, this way.
Awkward shamble along from the gang. I'm assuming.
Awkward. Fucking graceful.
And she leads you down a hallway, and you notice that the stained glass kind of lines the entirety of the hallway. The masonry is top-notch. And as she leads you along, she comes to a door which has a keypad to it. She enters in a few numbers, and then the door clicks, and it opens into a spiral staircase made of cobblestone.
What? Oh, okay. Sorry, that took me a minute to pull up in my head. Rustic.
It's a less modern part of the church.
Then I assume she continues to lead on.
Actually, she holds the door open for the four of you.
Is there a keypad on the inside as they were passing through?
Looks like there's just a door on the inside, like a handle. Probably is only a one-way lock.
Yep. I'm content.
It does have the proper exit sign over the door.
Yep. I'll go through and make room.
I like my facilities to be within the OSHA work requirements.
Blink.
Well, my good sir, you will find that this place is well up to code.
That's what I'm saying. Kudos.
Even Craig, like, is like, what?
Jinx will just lightly tap Rex's shoulder. My father is very critical of such things.
Safety starts here.
His mouth is hanging open slightly, like.
Oh, man.
And
See how long this character's gonna last.
and Miss Prescott will make her way down. She'll shuffle past the four of you and lead you down. And then when you come down to the end of the staircase, it enters out into sort of a like a large multi-purpose room. Stone pillars. The architecture is of a much more classical design. But you notice that the door at the far end of the room is made of wood and has iron sort of settings. And she will simply gesture towards the door. Your party is through there.
Yeah. Walks down in, awkwardly looking at everybody.
Oh yeah, we've committed this far. Going places.
Yeah.
In his own head, Rex says, "Ain't no place they can put me. I can't find my way out of. Fuck y'all. Think I'm trapped in here with you? The Rorschach said it best. Y'all trapped in here with me." In his own head again.
The entirety of Craig's thoughts are a combination of terror and the theme of the Harlem Globetrotters.
Jinx says Arlo's going to kill me if we end up getting in trouble for this.
And so, yes, do you guys go and open the door?
Yep.
Right. The door opens up into a hallway, which is very obviously a crypt. However, the crypt slots, the spaces on the walls, all have concrete or some type of stonework in the shape of people.
Then Jinx will get a little nudge because you know what? This was her idea. She gets to lead.
That's a little. She goes forward in, but she will lead.
Bold choice. Yeah. Bold choice in decor. Comment as they're walking past the stone faces and whatnot.
As you pass along, you'll hear the door shut behind you and hear the distinct sound of a key turning a lock.
And now we're locked in.
That's unfortunate.
Yep.
She'll tap Rex with her elbow because you know what? She knows he's fucking deaf. Door's locked, Rex.
Yeah, I hope a motherfucker does.
Gets a pat on his shoulder.
God damn it.
And from this point, yeah, Jinx will get a hand on her shoulder and Rex can lead.
Oh, yeah. Shuffles his way up to the front, starts walking.
Rex,
Yo.
if this is what I think it is, you're looking at a dead minimum of 6 bodies. Never heard of a 2-person pack, so 6 minimum, probably, I guess. I really don't know how big a pack is, but I'm guessing it's that many.
Okay.
Okay, go on.
Jinx has been, by the way, very casually brought in side to side with Lola so that the arm can drape across her shoulders to keep her decidedly close.
I am decidedly close.
Yes.
And as you make your way through, you come into sort of an opening or
Well, that was weird. that was weird.
Yeah, that was really
What the
weird.
fuck what the fuck was that?
I'm going to assume that may mean he completely disconnected.
That was the strangest thing I've had in a while.
All right, so now
Wait,
we're in
what?
Rex's scene. We proceed forward, and what we see is a portal. 16 titties fall out.
Just
Oh,
the titties.
God.
Sir, you did not roll for that.
It was a secret roll that the DM rolled. Y'all don't need to see that shit.
You don't need to see that shit.
Tanya the Giant.
Okay,
So-
so what actually happens?
And I should let you know that the doorway is a wrought iron gate type with a simple latch, no lock.
I didn't even hear that there was a gate. We didn't get that far.
Yeah.
We heard a
Fair.
big open room.
It is a big open room. It's a rotunda, like...
With a portal.
Shut up, Robbie. It is a rotunda. It's not very wide. It's maybe like 20 feet in circumference total. Or, sorry, 20 feet in diameter. And, it has the, the outcroppings for bodies to be stacked in. And you'll notice that, most of the stone facades are uncovered, but, about 4 of them have dust sheets placed over them. And you'll notice on the far side of the room there is a wrought iron gate that sort of acts as a door, but it's a simple latch, and there is no lock on it.
Is there anything under these dust cloths, or are there just fucking cloths left in some of the fucking doodads?
I mean, if you want to look underneath them, you may.
Are they laying on a flat surface, Vinny, or is there something under them?
There's definitely something under them.
Ah, is the thing perchance vaguely body-shaped?
Well, yes. I mean, it is a crypt, and all the
Yeah.
facades are been relatively human-shaped.
This is true, though they have been made of stone.
I'm gonna look at this motherfucker. Who you is?
What the fuck?
He just like whips that shit off. Who's
Yup.
that?
Well, you rip the towel off, or the dust sheet off, and it is a facade of, looks like a priest. No name tag, but it looks like a priest was laid to rest here.
A facade. A facade. Okay.
There's 3 more to go.
Is it like okay? Like because I didn't make it clear enough. So this is a dead dude?
It is literally like a stone carving of a person laid to rest.
Oh,
That's why I said facade.
okay. Puts the sheet back on. Flips, like, if nobody else goes for another one, he's gonna, like, do the same shit. Who the fuck you is?
Nope, Lola gonna let him have all of this.
And you pull that one off, and Jinx,
Yes.
you recognize that that very pale face of someone who had a very unfortunate run-in with you a few nights ago.
Oh.
Oh, wait, I know who you is. He puts the sheet back.
Jinx kind of like backs into Lola, like probably abruptly, she like almost yelps.
And now we know what we're dealing with.
Yup. Busted!
You hear the sound of
But-
the iron gate opening. I
Here
wouldn't
we
necessarily say busted per se, but certainly you didn't do a bang-up job of hiding it.
Yo, is those reels? They contacts.
They're very real.
Pretty as fuck.
Why, thank you.
You're welcome.
Craig just backs up a few steps.
Yep, same with Jinx.
She looks at the two that are backing up, and she holds out her hands and
Jinx
sort
is
of.
being held close. She's
Yeah.
going nowhere.
She puts out her hands in a placating gesture. There's no need for that. We wouldn't have asked you here to simply destroy you. That is not what we're here to do.
Right.
If we had, the vehicle would have simply blown up the moment that Miss Prescott stepped out of it.
That's comforting.
Craig
Said
actually
most.
looks like the gears are turning in his head right now.
Okay. We kind of like nod at Rex. We should go for it then. Grimacing a bit.
All right, so
Woman
what,
will take a few steps more and just sort of reach out a hand and put it on Jinx's shoulder. Assure you, little one.
She
We
will find
promise-
that reaching out the hand gets a very sharp reaction from Lola. Considering that she's like got an arm around Jinx and has her pulled in against her side.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a hand offered to whoever is more available. If Lola kind of puts herself in the way, she will simply pat Lola's arm.
Yeah, probably.
We promised you safe conduct, and safe conduct is what you will have. You will not be harmed while you are in our company. That much I can promise you.
She'll just nod. Alright. Well then, let's get down to business. I think that is the correct English.
Absolutely. Please, follow me. And she will walk through the doorway and lead into what looks to be more of a homey room. It almost looks kind of like a card room. There's a pool table to one side, several couches, a fireplace, a TV, which is currently muted but seems to have the 24-hour news cycle going. And you see a few desks with laptops on them.
Lola's definitely letting Rex lead.
yup. Yup.
And she will gesture out to a few of the plush chairs that are set out in sort of a semicircle.
Yep. Sits down.
A wall
So
nearby?
does Craig.
A wall? But yeah, there's 4 walls to this room.
Nearby, like near the chairs.
There's like a support pillar for the
That
upper
are-
floors that he
There you
can just
go.
lean against.
There we go.
It's very possible that Jinx will end up if there's something as big as like a proper lounge, you know, that will be opted over just for the sake of keeping Jinx that close.
Oh yeah, no, there's definitely like a love seat, a couch, but the chairs are, you know, they face each other more directly. And then the woman will sit down and put one leg up over the other, or one leg up by resting her ankle on her knee. Can I get you refreshment? Do any of you still take food, or is it strictly a blood basis for all of you?
I can, I can take food. We'll look at the other people. If you guys would like food.
Well, I can. I prefer to know where it's coming from. If you don't mind my rudeness.
I can understand your trepidation. But, and she will sort of gesture out, and you can see that a definitely appears to be a human servant brings out a cart with looks to be sealed blood bags. About a point's worth.
I'll be fine.
And another tray of looks to be some kind of Zinfandel.
What?
Zinfandel, I forget how to
Oh,
pronounce
there
it.
you
It's
go.
white wine. There's white wine offered, not red, because there's already one color on the tray. They don't need to have two. And the servant will simply pour glasses for those that will take it.
Yeah, she'll take some wine, and we'll sniff it, inspect it, and take a sip, and just nod. Because it's always, Mom always said, it's rude to refuse food. These
Yep.
things.
She'll accept the white wine, and admittedly, she's more holding it than anything else.
So you're the young lady who made a bit of a ruckus the other night.
Yes, that is me.
I see. Given that the restraints that you used could have broken away fairly easy, given the currents of the Hudson, the body could have simply washed up, and questions would be asked. And while in most cases they don't necessarily lead back to any of us, you can understand the problem that it poses, at least the risk that it brings about.
She'll nod. Yeah, yes. We had very little time, so we had to act quickly. I hope the body would stay lowered. Yes.
So it would seem then that perhaps you are out with an established network in this city, if I am understanding correctly.
She'll nod. We mostly operate together. She's going to look at Rex and Lola, and at Craig.
Well, as I am not usually one to mince too many words about such things, as I can tell that the four of you are fairly tense, I will simply lay it out for you. I am Penelope Dever, and it is a pleasure to make your all's acquaintance. I trace my lineage back a very long way, and I'm rather proud of it, which is a fairly uncommon thing within the organization that I represent.
Slow nod. And which organization would that be, if you don't mind me asking?
The sword of our father, of course. And she says it extremely matter-of-factly.
I see. I don't believe I know that, because Jinx doesn't have any Sabat lore.
She will take the dumbfounded look to mean that you probably don't understand.
No, forgive me, I do not know.
Very well. The Sword of Cain, or as many would say in a very general terms, the Sabbat.
Oh, there's that kind of like, oh, you know, like blatant, like eyes pop open. Takes a quick glance to see how everyone else fucking reacts.
This expression.
Well, his expression is not quite that that blatant, but she's watching very closely and somewhat intensively. Might I ask why all the interest?
Well, for one, we were able to attend your soiree that was held recently without incident. And my ductus seems to believe that this is a sign that perhaps the normal recruitment methods that we would use are not necessarily needed in this case. That perhaps when looking for new membership in a city, we can simply, and she'll kind of gesture out broadly, sit and talk.
Normal methods.
Normal methods, as you say.
I believe he was inquiring as to the normal methods that you mentioned. The
Oh.
alternative.
The generalizations that I understand that are out there are gathering individuals violently and doing all that one can to convert newly changed individuals, newly formed individuals. Perhaps giving a sermon of Cain, or even, and she'll kind of think to herself, and then look pointedly at Jinx. Perhaps entrapment. Any number of things. Some that are fairly unpleasant. But that is not our pack's way, and it is not what I wish for the four of you. Nor does my ductus, our leader, so to speak. The head of our, I believe the word that many of you would use is coterie?
Quarterly is a word, yes, that I've heard being used.
I wouldn't, unfortunately, know. I was never embraced outside of a Sabbat clan. I am La Sombra.
There a word you use?
Pack?
Oh, okay.
It is the closest parallel that I can see from what limited knowledge I have.
And you were reaching out to us in particular because...
Well, it stands to reason that we have a service that we can offer you, and perhaps through a show of good faith, perhaps earned at least an open mind. Currently, the body that rests in our crypt is very neatly tucked away from the world, and we have every plan of keeping it that way. And if your collection here is perhaps in similar situations in the future, a bargain could be struck. And perhaps the Sword of Cain might be able to persuade you to join our number in the fight against the forces that will ultimately destroy us all if they are not dealt with.
And what forces are those?
How many of the characters here have a fair amount of lore, or any lores to speak of?
I have Kindred Lore 1, Cam Lore 1, and Gangrel Lore 2.
I have the same initial spread. Let's see here, actually. Kindred Lore 1, Camarilla Lore 1, Ventrue Lore 1, Nosferatu Lore 1.
Ooh. Gangrel 2, Kindred 1, Cam 1.
I totally missed the bit about starting lures, so I have not said any.
Start with 2 in Clan, and then you have 2 to split between Kindred and either Camarilla or Anarch, I believe. Possibly Sabbat, if you're allowing that.
I would have to confer with Shelby on that one.
Okay.
All right, so I wouldn't have more in anything than anyone else.
Okay. For those of you that have it set on your sheet, go ahead and roll your Kindred lore if you want. The sort of creation story of Cain and the third generation is commonplace enough. Just, get a success. Standard diff.
I got 2.
Two, 3 if analytical comes into play for an intelligence specialty.
I'm not going to say that would come into play because you're not really analyzing something per se.
That's cool. That is cool. Then it's just you.
But 2 successes is enough to get the basis down of Cain, the progenitor, and the dreaded antediluvians from which all of the 13 clans originated from.
I see.
Perhaps you thought that they were just myth or folklore?
She'll give an even nod. My sire told me there's always truth behind myth, but so far distorted that it could not possibly be real.
Well, I hate to give you or be the bearer of bad news, but unfortunately, they are very real. Some have been dealt with, others are not. And when the end times, when Gehenna is finally upon us, they will rise. And it is the Sword of Cain that will fight alongside our arisen progenitor to rid the world of them once and for all. In essence, save what we can. I suppose those of you that are perhaps a bit closer tied to the ivory tower are not told the same things.
Takes a look at the Ventrue first.
The Ventrue hasn't taken his eyes off this woman since she started talking about recruitment and violence. Same stare. Entire time.
She looks over at Craig and sort of inclines her chin a bit. I've seen glowers before. Yours is not one that I am unused to. Speak your mind.
You're selling. All sales have a bill.
Well, yes, they do. The Sword of Cain is an army, and of course, joining any army poses certain risks. However, with those risks come certain benefits, unity of the pack, protection from the fellow packs within any given area, freedom to do most anything you want, and the right to expect freedom from your superiors.
Except for yours, right?
I'm afraid I don't follow.
Freedom and ranks don't belong in the same space. Anybody who's seen what ranks look like knows that. You say ductus, we hear bishop, this way, that way, army. Doesn't sound like freedom.
Rex nods.
Well, as I said, we are a army. There are commanders. There are those that will send you out on tasks. I have been ordered before, and I assume that I would be ordered again when war comes upon us, whether it's with the Ivory Tower, the Anarchs, or batches of independence, such as the Giovanni.
Then what exactly do you mean by freedom, if we are still following a chain of command?
Well, let's say, for instance, that you wish to create a child of your own. There's no one that will prohibit you from doing that. In fact, you may be required in times of war to do such a thing when we need to raise our numbers. But if you were to find a member of the kind that you found exceptional in some way, whether it be through your own attachment or perhaps their attachment to you, you're free to embrace them. You would also gain the benefit of that no one can bring about your final death without a proper intercession of procedure.
And just how trying is this procedure?
Various retail would obviously be needed. You would have to prove your loyalty in some way. Not necessarily in any grand gesture, but participate in some of our more sacred rites. You would be forced to undergo certain rites of passage, let's say. All of them which are very attainable for any Canaanite. We would not send you into Central Park to bring us back the ears of some lupine, if that is what perhaps you are fearing.
That's an oddly specific example.
It is an example that someone has brought up before in the past. It just simply came to mind.
Considering the alternatives you have spoken of when it comes to recruitment, are we being given time to mull over your offer? I couldn't help but notice that our way out has been made unavailable.
Security and precaution. Nothing more. It is an open-ended invitation. Should you choose to leave this place and retain your autonomy, whether it be with the Ivory Tower, which would be unfortunate, or as independents, I'm not exactly sure what your affiliations are. It would be as if you never arrived here at all. If you join the ranks of our enemies, we would, of course, perhaps, at some point, cross swords with each other, or if you remain neutral and stay out of the way in the dealings, then more than likely we would have no qualm with you, no conflict to resolve.
And is there anything else we should know about this offer of yours? Because I believe that, regardless of how tempting it may be, we will need time to discuss it amongst ourselves. As has been pointed out several times already, we make such large decisions together.
Already the budding sprouts of a good pack, she says with sort of a satisfied smile. I had hoped that you wouldn't accept the offer out of hand, that you would actually take time to mull it over. It shows a certain healthy skepticism that many of our kind lack on either side of the fence.
There's just the polite little smile and the little nod of acknowledgement, like, oh, you have paid me a compliment.
So with that said, if you have no other business with us this evening, you may either stay and socialize, or you may leave. Once you just come up to the door to the crypt, simply pull on the cord to ring the bell on the outside, and Miss Prescott will allow you out and escort you back to the ride that you brought here, and then she will take you back to your vehicles.
As much as we appreciate your hospitality, it is perhaps time that we go and speak amongst ourselves in more familiar territory.
Well, I understand. I am glad that you have found our hospitality to your liking. And she will steeple her fingers in front of her chest and sort of give each of you a slight nod before she stands up and makes her way into the through the doorway. It's at the rear of the room. And she will close the door behind her with sort of a sound of a wooden door sort of coming to shut.
At which point Lola will finally set down the wine glass just off to the side, glancing to the others to see if anyone protests her commentary.
Nope. No protest from Jinx at all.
Nah.
Fuck we doing?
We're going home, Rex.
Yeah.
What about the coal bitch under the sheet in the room back there?
It is being taken care of for us.
What are you gonna do?
No worse a loose end than if he bobbed up in the river.
It removes the trouble from us as well.
For now.
For now.
And she'll give Jinx a bit of a nudge because she's probably got her like hooked in the arm in such a way that she can't readily get up without doing so.
Yeah, no, Jinx will stand up.
And she'll do much the same.
Shall we go consider our options?
Yeah, it seems like we're throwing in together.
Lucky you.
Gets a little smile. Obviously teasing.
If anybody would like to make a perception and alertness roll, they may.
Sure.
Sight based?
No, it is hearing based, except for Rex. Rex cannot make this roll.
Woo!
All right. I get 1.
1.
I get 3.
2.
With 2 successes, you can kind of hear a commotion. Not really like a commotion, but the sound of like movement back in the rotunda. With 3, you heard the sound of the door opening and the sound of something being wheeled into the rotunda
Lovely.
at
Yeah,
a
she'll-
reasonable pace, not like someone's rushing the doors or anything.
Yeah, she'll snap a glance to the door.
Curiouser and curiouser.
And we'll tip Rex off first and then gesture ever so generously for him to take the lead.
No way. Here we go.
And as you pass through the rotunda, you see 2 gentlemen standing there. One with an apron on, and the other simply moving a which looks to be like a wheeling gurney. The man wheeling the gurney is, of course, the dear father. However, the man not wheeling the gurney looks over at the lot of you as you pass by with a keen eye on the 4 of you.
No eye contact. No eye contact.
They will, seeing as they are getting pointedly looked at, there's the demure little nod, but she's not going to otherwise engage.
Oh, quietly
Rex.
passes that by.
Gonna, like, with a passing glance, look him right in the mustache.
God damn it, Robbie.
And Craig?
Greg's not looking at the dude.
Mechanically, he has to roll self-control.
You can't look at a fucking mustache apron combo like that. Teardrop scar. Oh, thank you.
No soup for me. All right.
Till recently, Craig was just like some dude working in retail.
Yep. Polite nods for both of them, and nope. And you stop staring at that mustache, Robbie. Jesus.
Damn. No, not really.
God damn it. Are they continuing to do whatever they were doing as we're heading past and out? Or I get us heading past and and pulling a little ding dong rope. God damn it, you guys! We're so mature. We're adults. Vinny!
Hey, it's up to you guys whether or not
I
you're moving
asked
along.
you, do they continue whatever they're doing as we walk past them and pull the ding dong rope?
Have you guys moved past?
Yes, none of us have stopped moving. We're just narrating what we did as we continued moving.
Okay, that's fair enough. All right, so yeah, they continue on going about it. You hear one of the men say, "Ready to get this fucking meat sack out of my sight," as you ring the bell.
Is it the same voice as the good father that we heard previously, or is it a different voice than that?
Oh, it is a very
Is it
different
Mustache Man?
voice.
Okay, so it's the other guy. Yep, just gonna pull this rope and politely wait here for this door to magically open.
There is a ding. And
That shark is my spirit animal right now.
Miss Prescott opens the door for you. Gentlemen, lady, if you will, please follow me.
And yep,
Yep.
And-
Skitter.
that ever-present polite little smile.
Hey, fun question. On the way out of the church, does it have a building number?
Hmm?
Does the church have a building number?
No, it does not. Not on the building itself.
Well, damn.
Does it have like the little thing that's like hours, etc. on the door or on one of the windows? Or you know, a little pamphlet on the table.
It does not.
Anything naming the church.
There's a Catholic church chilling here and they don't have a butt ton of like, here,
Pamphlet?
take this and read about Jesus.
No, there are Bibles in the pews
Ugh.
and hymnals. I mean, if you don't
Not,
want to touch a
not
Bible.
even those big wheat paste boards some churches like.
Oh, like a community board.
Can't think of
Yeah.
any church I've ever been to that doesn't have a bunch of shit for you to take and hand all your friends to make them come to church.
Well, here's a question, Katie. How many churches have you been in that have vampires in the basement?
I mean, no knowing really.
12.
Admittedly, most of them didn't have basements, which rules them out.
Yeah. But no, there are no pamphlets out. It's not Sunday services. It's not mass time. It's a community. There is a community board, but it has take a number, that sort of thing. It's almost as if the people that brought you here have made it fairly difficult to place this church on a map as best they can.
We'll see about that later.
Is one of the little flyers for cat sitting?
One of the flyers is for cat sitting.
I'd take the number. I'll rip off one of the little tabs on the bottom.
Dr. Rebecca Wright Abasum. No.
Wouldn't fucking surprise me.
Oh, she cat sits? How thoughtful.
No.
She's a cat lady.
She has.
7. But anyhow, you are ushered into the car, and the car leaves, and it takes you back to the bus terminal, where you are deposited and left without incident.
Yo, they took all my incidents. No.
So I don't think I have to tell you guys that we don't want to talk about this encounter until it's absolutely necessary, right?
What encounter?
That's what I thought.
Yes. Yes. So we should go, yes?
Are you talking about freedoms and shit, recruiting and shit?
Stop.
It's probably not best to do that here.
Yeah, we'll have a little get together later.
Jinx, can you make sure he has all of our numbers?
Yes. Then she will immediately say out Rex's number to Craig without even missing a beat.
Yeah, Craig's on his smartphone. Any of you good with computers?
Jinx raises her hand.
Rex points to Jinx.
Think you
I
can
get
Google foo your way to figuring out where that church is?
I could try.
Yo, what the fuck is a Google?
She Lola just kind of casually pulls the little number out of her pocket
And offers it over. You can call the nice lady and tell her about how, you saw her last Sunday and, you were trying to tell your friends about the church but couldn't place it.
If it
And
comes
ask for
to
the
that,
address.
yeah. This may come as a
I would
shock
do
to
not-
you, but I'm not the most convincing liar on earth.
Never
Man,
mind, I'll keep it.
I'd be good as fuck at lying. Nah, let me try. I'd be like, hey, bitch, I need my cat sitting on.
She puts the number back in her pocket,
What?
shaking her head.
Craig just stops his entire brooding thing he's got going on here and just looks at Rex like, man, make my day.
I'll see what I can do, but the cat thing will work also, probably.
Sounds good.
Come on, Rex, let's show you what the Google is. She just says, say grimly, like she's taking on the most dangerous task known to man. She's climbing into the shotgun seat.
You know what bothers me about this, though? More than anything.
Which part in particular?
Why the fuck do a bunch of people who are just trying to eat gotta make eating so fucking complicated? And Craig walks off to his Prius.
Just got a vague eyebrow loft, a little nod of agreement. I'm like, well, he ain't wrong.
Damn it, I should have left the feeding map up.
I don't want to find it again.
And yeah, she will look to Rex. Take us home, Rex.
It's a magic word.
Please?
That's what I'm talking about. Starts up the car.
Well then. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. And this has been a scene within the LWoD vampire venue Camarilla in the Streets and Sabat in the Sheets. Thank you and good night.